Hello, everybody, and welcome to James C.Starke Radio. I'm your host, Jim, and with me in the studio today, we have Anton Scholl. Anton is awesome, man. He is also a product of Chicago like I am, and he's now residing in Cave Creek. Anton, welcome to the show, brother. It's so good to have you here. How you doing?
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, Anton, you've been here for about, what, 10 years now?
10 years, yes.
10 years. What's really quick before we get into this? Give me a quick culture shock when you first moved here 10 years ago from being from the Windy City and then coming to Arizona.
It was the heat.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize really what 115 degrees was like and how my body was going to handle it. And then being sucked dry of all the moisture, I think was a huge issue for me. And then the other thing was just the living in the desert.
Yeah.
Never dealt with rattlesnakes, scorpions, tarantulas, things like that. Yeah. So that was a little strange.
It was hard for me to go to sleep out here. It was so quiet when I first moved here. You're so used to sirens and gunshots and everything else back east. It was like our lullaby.
Right.
But that's cool. I'm glad you made it out here. It's a great place. So tell me, how did Anton Scholl and Friends is the name of the project.
Right.
He brought us some music tonight, too. I can't wait. I've already heard it, but I can't wait for everybody else to hear this. I did my studying.
Great.
How did you get started with this?
So this is a project. Years ago, I had written some songs with an old friend of mine from Chicago, Arthur Landwehr. And we had written these songs, and I moved away, and I had all these songs sitting here. And as I was playing in cover bands in Arizona, I thought, there's so many great musicians out here. I mean, it's amazing that a different scene than Chicago, but there are some great musicians out here.
There really are.
And I thought, what could be better than taking my songs and re-recording them using some musicians in the area, meaning that they would be all my friends. Mm-hmm. We would have a different guitar player on each song, maybe a different drummer, maybe bring in a bass player, maybe even feature an entire band.
Yeah.
And so that's where it came up with Anton Scholl and Friends. They're my songs that I've written and haven't released. Now we've released about 8 or 9, I think, on iTunes and every other platform.
Where can we hear everything? On iTunes?
Everywhere.
I'm sorry, you said every other platform. Yeah, so
every platform. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes, Amazon.
We can Google you and pretty much find everything. We got videos and everything. We'll get to those in just a second
and the
too.
YouTube,
because some of you made your videos a good friend of both of ours too.
Correct.
So that's really cool.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, how old were you when you decided you were going to be a musician? What happened?
Oh, wow.
Now you sing and play bass for the most part on here. Mm-hmm. What I know you have another bass player too, and we'll get into him in just a second. Right. But what did you do first as a kid? Were you a singer first?
I was a musician in a sense of I loved to I wanted to play, and I didn't really know what to play. I used to stand in front of the mirror and sing Elton John songs, and and I just got into that, and I thought, well, that could be kind of fun. But I just loved music in general. So when I was about 16, there was a guy in high school, and he was a guitar player, and this guy could play like Stairway to Heaven or something, and that was like phenomenal at the time when you're a
kid and other kids playing. Right. Like, whoa.
We just didn't know, those songs, at the time were just, phenomenal songs, and for somebody to actually be able to play it on guitar. So we were just talking, and he said something like, well, I'm looking to start a band, but I need a bass player. And I said, well, it's got 4 strings. How hard can it be? So that's pretty much what I did. I picked up an old hollow body Conrad bass, and I bought a Mel Bay, Learn Bass from Mel Bay book, and I learned some scales. Yeah, I learned some scales and started playing. Of course, I think my first song was everybody's first song, Smoke on the Water.
There you go.
I learned that, and but then we started going right into originals. which was kind of strange.
Now, just to make a quick comment, being a bass player playing Smoke on the Water is a whole different experience than being the guitar player. It was a lot easier being the bass player in that song. And it's very simple on the guitar, too, but you only had the one note to
exactly.
the bass.
Exactly. That's when you're starting out.
That's cool, but that's awesome.
And I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with just doing that, playing that part of the bass. I started listening to a lot of other bass players, and he just kind of evolved, listening to, the classic rock music.
Who was influencing you back then when you first started the bass?
Well, when I first started, I was a big Led Zeppelin fan. I probably didn't listen to anything else but Led Zeppelin. And then, and just songs, Ramble On and Dazed and Confused, and all these songs that I was like, I gotta play that. And then I heard The Real Me by The Who. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm in.
Yeah, go John.
And I started playing some John Entwistle stuff and started figuring that out. And then I was listening to a radio show in Chicago.
Which one?
WMET.
No, I remember that. Yeah. You got sick of WLS and all the 40s all day, every day. 9,000 hours of top 40 over and over again. And WMET just kicked its ass. Yeah. Came out and played all the good shit. Oh, God, I remember that. How funny, man.
They were playing concerts. They were doing like a month of concerts. And they had a Rush concert on. And it was probably 19...
It's got to be late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, maybe early.
Around there.
Right. Late 70s, I think. Late 70s, early 80s. And I was floored. I went to that concert. Then afterwards, they came to Chicago.
Daddy had to have blown your mind as a kid that age to see him play like that. His fingers are 12 feet long.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And it was at the time where he was playing Xanadu with a double neck and, all that phenomenal stuff that was going on back then. And he had the huge keyboard set up. So it was really...
Yeah, because that was right around the 2112
era
right there. Yeah.
Okay. So that brought me into just listening to The Who. I listened to a lot of Aerosmith just because for vocal purposes. Listened to a lot of Aerosmith, and then Rush and Led Zeppelin. So those are my four major bands that I listened to.
Yeah, we have a lot in common there. Yeah, I was exposed. I had a cousin that was. My parents were both musicians also when I was a kid, and they had cut a top 40 record. And my cousin really got into playing under that, and he had lived with us at that time. And he was a drummer, so he got me into hanging out with him and with their practice. And I just was like, "Whoa!" He's like, "Well, get over here and try this." I was just a little kid, and I think the very first thing I played was a couple of smacks on the drums, and then I was hooked for everything, and I just had to learn it all. But but I remember those days, and he was showing me and getting me into the Who and Rush and Zeppelin, and man, he lived for that stuff. So it was really cool. And then my parents being musicians, they would listen to a lot of different stuff, but that was back then. But yeah, it's very cool.
Well, remember those days, you didn't have YouTube to teach you how to play a song.
No, we had to learn the
So we had to actually learn the song.
Did you ever take any formal training, or did you just pretty picked up from what you did?
I picked everything up by ear. Yeah. Everything else by ear. It was difficult because I didn't understand it as much in the beginning.
When you're watching them, it looks like you play it a certain way, but then when you put it in your hand, you're like, well, I actually got to do something totally different here. Yeah.
And the style of John Entwistle at the time, when he would play with his fingers, he would do his four-finger thing, and that blew me away. And I started doing that a lot. I started working with octaves a lot, and working my way through the whole bass. And then I finally saved up and bought a custom-made double neck that had a bass and a six-string guitar on it, so I can play both.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was a lot of fun learning all of that stuff. But yeah.
How old are you when you got that?
Oh, when did I get it? Probably got that 1980, probably 84.
So you were still just getting the list. So you were experimenting with everything.
20,
just trying to find
2021. Yeah, I still have that.
Do you?
I still have the double neck to this day.
That's cool. That is cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one of our songs here that you brought for us. Our first one on the queue is "Friends Till the End." Tell us a little about it. How did you write it? What's it about? Fill everybody in.
So this is a song. Basically, it was inspired by my son when he was growing up. This is my youngest. He was growing up and he used to play in his room a lot, and he would play by himself in this room. And I started thinking about how and it evolved. It was just more of like, well, he's by himself, but yet he's having a great time.
Sure.
And then I started thinking about, what if a child had different types of personalities?
Mm-hmm.
So different personalities would come out. So I came up with this character named Daniel. And Daniel is a nice kid, but you have to be careful because he has these other, like if you get mad at him or if you show fear, other people will come out.
Oh, Daniel.
So it's really about a kid who has these different personalities that come out. So, the chorus being, if anyone can hear me crying, Daniel is my name. Be careful what you say about me. Jason's not so sane.
Okay. Did you have a psychology degree or anything?
Right. No, right. But it evolved into this story. Yeah, it evolved into this story, and then I just brought all these kids' names in. And it evolved from that story. So it was just,
it's a really
lot
cool
of fun.
song.
It's a fun song to do, and one of the most requested that we do, actually.
I can see that. It's neat. Let's check it out. This is Friends Till the End.
And this song, by the way, I featured.
Ahead.
This is who I featured. I featured on this particular one. I featured a band called Grove Street, and I'd worked with them for quite some time. Great musicians, and they had a bunch of originals out. And now the guitar player from Grove Street, Greg, he is the one who is also playing with me now in my live band.
Oh, okay.
So again, the friends evolve. And they hang out. So this is Friends Till the End.
All right, let's check it out.
If anyone can hear me crying, Daniel is my name.
Be careful what you say about me.
Jason's not so tame.
And if you hurt me, understand that Brian feels my pain. And yes, Bobby runs away. His fear protects me every day.
Daniel's love won't let him feel anger, fear, or
And that was Friends Till the End by Anton Scholl and Friends. So that's cool. The kids, you told me a really cool story here when we were listening to that the kids on here were actually playing outside the recording studio when you're doing this.
Right, the one who does the voice in the beginning. We were trying to think of what we can put in, and I thought, wow, what a great idea if we can just have a child say the words.
Yeah.
The chorus. And we looked outside, and there was some kids playing outside, and the guitar player ran outside, grabbed a couple of the kids. He was the neighbor, so it wasn't like we just ran outside and grabbed some kids. So we brought them in, and the kids, they loved it. They went up to the mic, they started talking, they thought it was great, and we chose this one. It was great. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Really added to it. I think it really adds to it.
That's neat, man. That is cool. We got a couple more here, too, we're going to play in a few minutes. But before we get to those, there's just some cool stories behind these, too. Tell me some of your future goals. We have a new album in the works.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of a daunting task, but I'm going to do something that probably hasn't been done in quite some time, is I'm going to release a live album.
It hasn't been done in a long time.
I'm more about the rawness of playing. If there's little mistakes here and there, I'm okay with it.
Keeps it real.
Right. And I like this. I like the sound. I say that our songs probably translate a lot better live than they do in the recording studio. In the recording studio, things are kind of, you're nervous. It's kind of, I got to make sure I get every note right. You're overdubbing. You're maybe overproducing.
Sure.
You're trying to do a bunch of different things, and I just like the idea of getting in and just playing it live. So we're putting together some live tracks now, and I'm hoping to get this album out. The question is, right now is, what do you do? Do you put a CD out still? Do people still buy CDs? I have my stuff as singles now on all those platforms that we talked about earlier, and people like that. But then again, where is it going? Where is the music industry going?
Yeah, and there's a lot of different opinions on this. Yeah. I, for one, am a music junkie. It is the worst drug I've ever been addicted to because I can never get enough of it, and I'll sell everything for my music. But I still have 8 tracks, cassettes, albums, 45s. I've got an awesome collection of crazy stuff from way back then, and I still have the players that play them. Just because I just never wanted to get rid of it. My parents were like, get rid of this shit. Get this or get this, get CDs. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people like me that still buy albums because they're still making albums. Sure. There's the collectors are there. Vinyl's always going to be out there. There's never going to be a sound like it. They try to, CDs are wonderful and you have a different sounding, but vinyl's got a whole different warmth to it. But I would, with the next one I'm doing, I'm going to do the digital platform, of course, hard copies on disc, and I was even thinking about pressing a few vinyls just for the fun of it and just for the nostalgia of it. So I don't think I don't know how much more we can change, or how much more we can advance really from digital. I mean, where do you go from that? Is it just we just reach out in the air and just grab it out of the molecules? I mean, that's pretty much what's left. But
the digital sound though is so it just bothers me when I listen to it. I love that vinyl sound.
It's missing a little bit,
and that's why I want to do the live thing. At least maybe I can hopefully bring out some of that ambience of what it used to be. Yeah, and we're guitar oriented. We're not synth at this point right now. I like the guitar solos. I want to bring back the guitar solos. And,
I miss those too. I miss that structure. Everybody gets to show off a little bit in every piece, and the guitar solo was always like it was like, okay, here's my statement as a vocalist, here's the music, and the guitar comes in afterwards and just brings it and just knocks that statement right into the next week. It's like nails it down and does it, kind of portrays that. But I don't know. I definitely understand the digital part in that, and I can see your concerns. But there's got to be. I'm sure what'll happen next will be the sound of that will improve. With technology. But I don't know. I think the diehards are still going to buy records and CDs. Some people still buy tapes. I know that it's hard to do it now when it's underground. But as long as you're getting it out there somewhere.
Right.
I don't know what's going to make more money than the other one because everything is so new now, but we just got to try new stuff, see whatever happens. But the live thing, I think that is such a great idea because
I think I'd like to find a recording studio that uses the 2-inch tape instead of doing Pro
I
Tools
think
digital.
I can hook you up with someone like that. We'll talk after this. Yes,
could be
there
interesting,
are
yeah.
still a couple old school buddies that I know that are still recording people like that.
Wow.
And they're doing both at the same time. They got you on a digital reel, and they're putting everything right through that 2-inch at the same time.
Nice.
You know, so what I'm thinking they're doing, instead of having to rewind that tape a million times and you're going to wear it out by the time you're done, is almost going through the first mix and then putting that onto the tape, or maybe if you nail that first cut. I don't know how they're doing it, but it sounds really cool.
Great.
It's going to be experimenting until everybody nails it down again.
Absolutely.
You know?
Very true.
So, you did a lot of stuff back east in Chicago too. Tell us a little bit about that.
You did, yeah. Years ago, there was, I don't know if you know the Riviera Theater.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
the Riviera
absolutely.
Theater, the Vic Theater,
Mm-hmm.
had a band in Chicago called Strychnine. And we had put out an album called Theories and Principles in 1996.
Okay.
And we had our CD release party at the Riviera.
Nice.
It was a great show. It was a lot of fun. And we put a couple videos out that we did at the time. But, you know, that time was amazing. I mean, back then, it was, and it doesn't seem like that long ago, but now when you talk to people and say, in the 90s I did something, and they say, well, I wasn't even born yet. You know,
Yeah,
you think
yeah.
about really how long ago it really was.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so right now what's happening with the Chicago is that it's now been 20 some odd years, and we had a lot of unwritten songs, unrecorded songs. They were all written, unrecorded. And I started picking up pieces of those songs, and I got together with the drummer from Strychnine, and Pete Bartolome, he's the drummer. He lives in Nevada. I'm in Arizona, so we started talking, and I started sending him some files and say, hey, we got, you know, listen to this.
Yeah.
This is something. And he started listening to it, and he goes, we got to do something. You know, I mean, with the technology today, we really are able to do something. So the guitar player, Pete Zefgiles, is in Greece. He just recently moved back to Chicago. Joe Boo, who was the singer in the band, he's in Florida. And Greg Whitmore, who is the guitar player, keyboard player, he's also in Chicago. So we all hooked up eventually, and for the past year now, we've been exchanging tracks back and forth.
Okay.
And we've put out 2 videos of those unrecorded songs that are now recorded.
Nice.
And we're looking at eventually putting together a second Strychnine album, which would be pretty good in Chicago.
I was gonna say
Lot
that's
of
got to be
friends
cool
and
for them
fans
back
out there
there. You're
waiting.
gonna love that.
Yeah.
And the way you're doing it is so cool.
Yeah.
You're not even in the same room and you're
No,
pulling it off. Yeah,
not even
that's
in the
cool.
same state.
And there's a couple
Yeah.
bands that have been on this show that are doing that, and it's really cool. And they're pulling it off pretty cool.
Yeah.
They've yet to get on stage together or in the
right.
studio together, but they've all got the DAW, and it's all working out. So they're
Right.
putting the tracks on the
Right.
back, and they have an engineer who takes it when they're done. And
Yeah,
so
well,
that's
everything
cool, man.
with us
It is-
goes through. We go through Dropbox. I use Pro Tools at home, and Pete.
Yeah, there's no such
uses
thing as
Sonar
practice
and-
is too far. I can't get
Right.
there tonight. It's
Right.
okay. I'll just send you the tracks. Work on your end. We'll meet somewhere in the middle, and we'll do a show.
Exactly. A
Well,
lot of the
let's put it
songs are
out.
rewritten, and Pete, the drummer, he's been phenomenal at putting these songs together and mastering them. So we got 2 videos out from Strychnine, which has been doing pretty well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get to our next song here. This is called "Love Is a Crime," and this is a live version. So
Live
we're doing
version,
that.
yes.
And there's a video to this.
Right.
A video of a bunch of these things, all pretty much. But "Love Is a Crime," a mutual friend of ours,
Yes.
did this for you. Go ahead and tell
Yes.
us the story.
Paul
Give him a
Birch.
plug. Paul is an awesome
big
guy.
shout out to Paul. So Stereo Rex. I first heard Stereo Rex. I did a show at, I think it was the Starlight Lounge, and Stereo Rex was playing first, and then there was Voodoo Sliver,
Okay.
and then there was us,
Very
and we were
nice,
doing a
yeah.
midnight show. And it turns out that a drummer from my Rush tribute band used to be in a band with Rex.
Okay.
So he said, tell Rex. I said, hey, so Rex and I started talking, and we enjoyed each other's music. And I just started, going to see them. We've done a couple of shows together, and I started getting with Paul. I saw the video that he did.
Now, Paul's the drummer for
Paul's the
Stereo
drummer,
Rex, just
yeah.
so everybody knows, but he's a great videographer.
Oh, yes. And I saw the video that he put together for one of their songs, and I said, that's it, I got to have this guy. And I called him and I said, hey man, I need your help. I got to do this. And he came up with all these ideas, and he brought his nephew Nathan out there, and I mean, he had a drum cam set up, he had all these other cameras set up, and it was a great time. Very professional. He shoots in 4K, so I mean the video's great. And he has a whole setup where he just makes these videos, and it makes it look professional. And that was, to do a live video, that's what I really wanted.
He did a great
yeah, and he did a great job.
It's a really
on it.
good time too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's check this out. This is Love Is a Crime, and this is live.
This is live.
Anton Scholl and friends.
People all around, the men make up and found. If you don't love thy neighbor, you're the talk of the town. Never alone, but I'm lonely. The walls all around me, closing in. Love is a crime. Well, I've done the time. Please parole me. I paid my dues.
That was awesome. Even the crowd dug it. Love Is a Crime, Anton Scholl and friends. You're listening to James C.Starke Radio, you guys. Anton's got a little story to tell us about this song. Anton, please.
Yes, so Love Is a Crime came about just because of all of the relationships, that happened, where it was just kind of it was more of a comedic song. I was just sitting around writing lyrics one day and came up with the line, Love is a crime, and I've done the time. Please parole me. I've paid my dues. So it just came out of that, and the part in the solo that you hear are the two guitar players. So you have Rick Tovar on guitar and you have Greg Davis on guitar. They're actually arguing back and forth.
This
so
is
they
the
are
fight,
the
yeah.
So this is the fight between the two arguing. So if you listen close, you can hear the two different guitars going at the same time. And even when I brought it in to get it mixed, they were, people were confused. They were like,
yeah, what am I trying to do?
You got two
here?
guitars going at the same time. Yeah, leave it, because they tried to separate everything out.
Right.
I'm like, no, leave it. That's what it is. Just have one on the left and one on the right, and
yeah, let
them
them
argue.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how that came about.
The first time I was listening to it, I was like, well, wait, it's got to be two of them. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it now. All right, cool.
I don't think anyone's ever had two, because people who do listen to it for the first time, now non-musicians they probably won't notice it.
No, I'm
they'll
sure
just
it's
listen to the song, hear the
something
solo,
different.
right, and think, "Wow, that's a fast guitar player." But yeah, musicians have said, I've never heard anyone play 2 solos over each other at the same time. So, hopefully it's a first. But yeah, that was the whole purpose of it, to kind of make them argue.
It was cool. Where can we see that video?
That video is up on YouTube now. There's
what's the channel?
It's just Anton Scholl.
Okay. And you guys, that's SCHOLL.
Correct. Yes.
So Anton, ANTON SCHOLL on YouTube. Check it out. Love is a crime. Well, check it. There's a bunch of videos on there. So check them all out.
Yeah. And there's a lot of videos on there that are that I've done over the years with different musicians. So in one of the songs, I wrote a song for my wife Audrey, and I thought,
hi Audrey.
Yeah, there's. And I said, I think I would love to have like a violinist on this song. And I was playing in the Rush tribute band, and we were opening for a Kansas tribute band, and the Kathy King, who was the violin player for this tribute band for Kansas, was phenomenal. And I just thought, hey, well, what can it hurt? I'll ask.
Sure.
And I said, do you mind? Would you like to play on a song for me? And she was like, absolutely. Just send me the song. I sent her the song. She came to the studio. She had it all charted out. Pulled out her violin. Did it in one take. Asked me if she can add a few things. I was blown away by what she does. And it came out great. And then I had a singer from Chicago come out and play that with me also. So it's a duet. So the differences in the songs that are out, which is why I move and change musicians from each one. There's rock. There's a very mellow song. There's a little bit of everything, and everything sounds different. And I do change up my voice in some of the songs. So
which is kind of cool because you come from the self-taught background, but you're very well rounded in what you've done. You've hit a lot of cool stuff.
Thank you.
That's really cool. The violin, did she only do that on the one piece, on the one song?
Yeah.
It was cool. No, that was good. But we'll check this out. So if we want to check this out and hear her play it, that's also on YouTube. What song is that? I forgot.
That's called What Can Be.
What Can Be, that's it. Okay. You guys got to check it out, though, because she's quite phenomenal. Yes. And you seem to put yourself in positions where you get to play with some pretty cool people.
Oh.
So.
Absolutely. And I think that's really the goal. That's the plan. Surround yourself with musicians. And that's the one thing about the musicians that I've seen out here. Everybody has their own little quirks about what they like to do on stage.
Sure.
I love to play with musicians. I want to find people that I could feature. So on our shows, when we do shows, we'll feature somebody. The last show that we did, there was a girl from my work. She moved away, but her name was Candelisa, and we were looking to feature somebody. Just hey, let's get her up and do a song. Well, she was a singer, but she's never done anything on stage.
Okay.
So I said, well, I'll throw one at you then. Let's do Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones.
There you go.
All right, so she killed it. We went up there,
awesome.
We did that song, we featured her. She thought it was the greatest thing in the world, and now she wants to continue.
She wants to do more.
She wants to do more.
You gave her a taste of that.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah, and that's really what it's all about. It's just getting people out there, featuring them. Love to have people come up and play with us. Do a guitar solo, drum solo, whatever they want to do, and then I feature the different individuals in my live band.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you're writing your songs, are you more of a lyrics first kind of guy or a music first kind of guy, or does it depend?
Well, for the most part, I'd say 98% of the stuff that I've done has been music first.
Music first,
I have
okay.
to feel the music in order to feel the lyrics.
Sure. Okay.
And I need to know kind of when the music is going to transition into something else.
Okay.
So I have to feel that. So for me, I'd say music first, lyrics second, just because I need to feel it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, everybody's different. Sometimes I can go both ways too. Like that, I'll hear something in my head and I have to put it down, and then the lyrics will come next because of the feeling. Other times I got a great lyric in my head, and I'll start writing, and then I'll hear the music going with it. So it just depends.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, and it
Absolutely,
just depends.
right.
But it's good to be versatile like that.
Sure.
We talked about a new album coming out and stuff. Do you have any touring plans?
Well, I'd tell you the difference between what I would really like to do. I would like to get out there and do festivals, casinos, and so right now I'm looking for management to do those type of bookings.
Okay.
I played in all the bars essentially around here, and I'm looking now to try to get out and play a casino circuit or some kind of festival circuit. It's very difficult to find management, and that's one of the things. So,
It's
anybody
difficult
out
to find
there?
good, honest management.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
wants
mean,
to manage.
If anybody
Find good,
knows
honest
anybody,
one.
hook me up because I've been looking. I've done a couple interviews already of management, and it's not what I'm looking for. And I know a lot of people won't understand this particular analogy, but I'm looking for my Peter Grant.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm looking for the guy to come in and say, I think you got something. I can hook you up with this place. I'll get you in here, and let's rock it, and let's get famous together. It's very difficult to find that out here, but that's what I'm looking for.
Well, I have a few people to hook you up with later.
Oh,
and
appreciate it.
And I can help you out a little bit there. It may or may not be your thing, but I'm telling you, they're I think what you're looking for.
Great.
I can't say their name on here though, because I don't want to get them or myself in trouble if they don't.
Right.
But I will definitely hook you in their direction.
Right. Thank you.
No problem, buddy. Anything I can do. Talk to me about, before you go on. Well, first of all, I know we're talking about shows, but you have something coming up in September. I know you can't tell me too much about it, but can you give us just a little hint?
Right. Well, yeah, we're looking at trying to do something, and I can say at least where, but it's going to be at the Rock Bar, and it's a place I've always wanted to play. I haven't played there yet, and we're just really trying to kind of get a show together. So there's going to be 4 bands playing. We have to finalize everything that's going on with that.
Okay.
Once we finalize that, I'll be able to get everything out, but we will be playing, and it's going to be a great show.
Good deal. Well, make sure you keep me posted so I can let everybody know when to. Help you out
Definitely.
with that. Absolutely. Do you do any side projects or any? I know you're busy with a lot of different things. You're doing things, but do you do anything else? Yeah, any acoustic projects or
Yes.
anything you do?
I do. There is another person in Cave Creek. His name is Mark Loy, and
Hi, Mark.
And we had gotten together just one day. We met at in Cave Creek, and he was like, "Yeah, I play guitar." And I said, "Well, hey, I'm a singer." So we're goofing around, and we got together and we started playing some music, and we thought, wow, we live right next to each other. Let's just start doing something. So,
How lucky is that?
yeah,
Yeah.
and and Mark's great. So we want to try to get our acoustic set going. And I'd like to kind of do the Cave Creek area. So I'll be looking at that.
It's a beautiful area up there.
Yeah. So we're starting to put together all of our media and marketing to put that together. So yeah, acoustic shows. I was in a band for 10 years called Sideways out here. We did all covers, but we started doing an acoustic set with Sideways. We just did our last show. Our drummer moved. Troy Quintera, great drummer. He just moved out to Florida. And Jeff Boyd, our guitar player, he's still out here. And we'll probably get together and do a couple acoustic shows ourselves.
Good.
But so we got a couple acoustic
I want
things
to come
going
and
on.
see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. What are some of your pre-show rituals before you get on stage? It's got to be really different because it seems like you're always playing with someone different.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oddly enough, I get very nervous to this day.
well, you know what?
Very
When the
nervous.
nerves aren't there, it's time to quit.
Yeah.
If there's no
probably
butterflies
true.
and no nerves, then there's no more fun in it. Because if you don't give a shit and you're not feeling nothing, you have no business being on
Yeah,
that stage.
That's true. Yeah.
Didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
that's
it's awesome.
good. I'm
so
glad.
you get nervous as hell, just like the rest of us
Yeah.
do. And so what do you do?
I exercise my voice. I do about 20 minutes of vocal exercises. Try to kind of relax the throat and the Adam's apple and get everything moving. And just more so just about thinking about the show. Just relaxing, knowing that, listen, we're going to go out there, we're going to have fun. I don't care if there's one person or 1,000 people. We're going to
You're
go
gonna
out
perform
there
like there's a million.
and we're going to perform, right? So that's really the key. We get the band together. We do a little hoorah beforehand, and
there you go.
we get out there and jam, and you just have fun with it. And that's really the big thing that I preach to everybody. Is just have fun. don't worry about making mistakes. Don't worry about. People don't hear them anyway. I mean, we are so critical about
unless
the mistakes
they're
that we
studying
make.
you under a microscope. They're not going to hear it if you mess up, or if y'all look at each other when you mess. No one's going to. And if you do, I'm a clown on stage. If I screw up, I let everybody know.
Oh yeah,
I bring them right in because we're only human.
And it's all about fun. It's all about just getting out there and jamming and have a great time.
Absolutely. When you get up there, and the nerves, they're kind of throughout the show, but they go away so much in that comfort zone. But where does your comfort zone hit? Is it in the first note you sing? Is it the first note you play? Is it the first count off from the drummer? The first chords?
It's reaction. If I don't get a reaction, even if I sound great, if I think I sound great, and I don't get a reaction, or if the audience is not paying attention. Which, in bars that happens a lot. They're there to listen to music, but it's not a concert setting.
And people have to understand that.
Setting.
The bands have to understand that. You're in a club. It's not everyone's there just to see it. They're there to just have fun, and someone just showed up, didn't even know you were playing.
Absolutely.
But I definitely get it, because if you get that feedback from them, and it's great when they're all sitting there and having their own conversations, talking, you kind of feel like an asshole for a minute. You gotta get their attention.
And then you realize, hey, you're just up there to, you're up there to entertain them.
Right.
Let them talk, let them do their thing.
As long as they're comfortable and we're all having fun.
Yeah. Right. So and then it just subsides. It'll go away.
Yeah. You get into your groove and it's all good. There's nothing worse than not getting into that groove for like half the show. You're like, but usually you jump right into it and you're fine. But it's always different. What, like, after a show, you've got up there and done your thing and you're walking off stage, and are you wiped out? Are you feeling? I mean, I know how it depends on the show goes, but a lot of us, we put so much energy into there. I know you do too.
Yeah.
What do you have left in you after a show if you've done it right?
It depends on the show. Like some of these shows now that you play are 4-hour shows. When you're playing in the bars, they're 4-hour shows, and I got to tell you, after that,
it's nap time.
I'm exhausted. Yeah, I'm exhausted, and so I like to, and of course, we still have to unload our own equipment.
So I gotta go through all that
we don't
shit.
have we don't have roadies anymore.
Yeah.
In Chicago we had just carloads of people that would help. But yeah, so here we unload.
It's just so damn hot out here, and
I know, right?
When it stays
I know.
sour, it's cool. Go ahead, move your own
I
shit.
get home, and I tell you, when I do those 4-hour shows with the loading and unloading, Sunday is my day to get in the pool and just hang out and relax, and get my back straight again.
There you go.
But for the most part, after a show, I love talking to the people. I love their reaction, and that's really the thing that I enjoy more. Is I want people to talk to me. I want people to come up to me, and because technically, really, I'm a shy person, and I'm almost, I don't want to approach people and say, hey, what'd you think?
Sure.
I get off the stage and I'll walk around and people will stop me, and that's great. I love to talk to the people, and they're so
you
nice.
guys, another approachable musician. You guys get all nervous that you can't talk to these guys. Anton is awesome. He's a shy guy too, so you're going to have a good conversation with him because you get to do most of the talking until you open him up.
Very true.
No.
Very true. Come talk to me.
Please talk to this man. And if he's that beat, give him something to drink. Maybe have a sandwich waiting for him. He's been on stage for 4 hours. Give him a break. Help him out. Let him dry off and use the bathroom first, though. You guys know the etiquette. Got to give him the 5-minute rule.
Thank you.
You betcha. So speaking of relaxing on the day after and stuff, we have a song here called Lazy.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, Lazy, basically, Lazy came about where my wife, Audrey, wonderful woman, runs circles around me. She can
Don't they all?
Yeah, she's always running around, always doing stuff around the house, always doing stuff outside, and I honestly I can't keep up. And she had said one day to me years ago, she said, "You just seem so lazy." And,
thanks, son.
Yeah. And I said, I just can't keep up with you. I said, but the truth of the matter is, I said, I won't accept that. I won't accept that I'm lazy. Your lifestyle is just totally deranged. And then I thought, I like that line. And the last line of the song is, I won't accept that I'm lazy. I'd say your lifestyle's deranged. It's just more about, some people are normally very good at just staying busy, and my wife is busy, and then drops, and
Okay.
it's hard for me to do that. I can't keep up. Just totally different style. So that's how that song came about. So the song is about me. I wrote a song about me.
There you go. And it's live, so everybody gets the full flavor of this
This
one.
is the live version again, and the video again was done by Paul Birch, and some you can find on YouTube. We have not released the recordings of this because this will be part of the live album.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the recorded version is what you can get on iTunes and everywhere else, but the Lazy Live video is up on YouTube.
Nice. Let's check it out.
So this is Lazy.
Anton Scholl and Friends. Here we go. This is Lee.
Welcome to my mindset. Coming as plenty of room. I hope you won't be alone. Got more of nothing to do. Well, please forgive my rudeness. Well, I can't help you today. You lack the understanding. Truth is, I like it that way. Well, I'm not feeling no pain. Trying to dodge the rain. Well, you might think I'm insane, but I got nothing to gain, yeah. Need a sense of belonging. Trying to find a way I fit in. Am I the one, the only, who doesn't know where to begin? The place, the game, the party. I just get lost in the crowd. Not my desire to please them. Truth is, I'm not all that proud. Well, I'm not feeling no pain. I'm trying to dodge the rain. Well, you might think I'm insane, but I got nothing to gain. Well, I'm not feeling no pain. I'm trying to dodge the rain. Well, you might think I'm insane, but I got nothing to gain. Well, I'm not feeling no pain. I'm trying to dodge the rain. Well, you might think I'm insane, but I got nothing to gain. Well, are you catching my drift? I'm saying I don't wanna change. I won't accept that I'm lazy. I see your lost, I see red.
That was Lazy from Anton Scholl. That's so cool, man. Paul did that video too.
Yes.
Yes, very, very awesome. And there's a special guest in that video.
Yes, there is. My grandson Zephyr He called me, said he loved the song.
What a rock and roll name. That is so cool.
Yes. And he was kind of kicking back in a chair, headphones on, hands behind his head, singing the song. And my daughter sent me the video, and that's what opens up the video on YouTube.
That
him
is
just singing it. So.
Cool. That
So
is
it's great.
man.
Yeah.
Well, you have had quite a journey. I was telling you there, it's while that was playing, I can feel that Midwest vibe coming out of you. You know, from being back there myself and understand that sound and the sound here on this side of the country. It's such a different world, you know. But it's so cool how every part of our country has great musicians everywhere, but there's just a little distinctive sound that comes out of every little area.
Right.
It's just really cool. I can really hear that there. I dig it. Reminds me of the stuff I grew up on.
Great.
What kind of advice can you give for our upcoming bands? Do's, don'ts, yeses, nos?
You know, it's so different now. It's kind of hard to give advice to musicians now. I know I sit and I talk to some of they're about between 17 and 22 years old, and they're like trying to get into the music. And you know, everybody thinks that you have to buy the best equipment, spend loads of money on Marshall amps. Everybody's got to have a Les Paul. Everybody's got to have Marshall amps. The bigger the amp, the better. And none of that is true.
Yeah, but you can't play or just making a louder, uglier sound. So,
Right. Yeah.
you know.
And I tell them, just really the biggest advice that I give to people is play from the heart. You know, don't play what other people are playing. Don't. There's always influences that you can have, but play your music from the heart. Play what you feel, and you know, people will enjoy it. You know, you may have different styles of music. You may have a totally different style of music, but that's what everybody had, and that's what started, you know, the whole grunge thing, the punk thing, you know, heavy metal. All of that stuff was just because somebody felt like playing something different.
Yeah, that's
And,
exactly true.
You know, and this is what I tell them: just play what you want to play. Don't worry about sounding like somebody else. Everybody wants to go out there and sound like Eddie Van Halen and Jimmy Page and all these great guitar players, but it's already out there.
And the
Be
thing
yourself.
is all those guitar players have their own sound, and
Right.
none of them sound like the other guys. So be your own sound too.
Be you. That's what I always tell them.
Definitely
Be
learn
you.
from them, play like whatever you want to do, but be
Right.
yourself.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That is great, man. My biggest question here is probably the toughest one, but what are some of your biggest challenges and struggles through all this?
I thought, honestly, in the beginning, I thought that my biggest struggle was going to be finding the musicians. Because my original thought was, why would somebody want to come into a studio and play my songs? You know, I didn't
Sure.
want to sound, you know, I didn't want it to sound like, you know, hey, these are my songs and this is what I want you to do. You know, right.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I had people calling me, you know, and saying, "Hey, man, you know, let's jam." And my thing to them was, "Look, here's the song. You're the guitar player, or you're the drummer, or you're the bass player, whatever it is. You put you in it.
Perfect.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
tell you
that's-
what to play. I'm not going to tell you how to play it. I'm going to give you the basics of the song. I'm going to give you the idea of the song. You can listen to the old recording if you'd like. If you want to duplicate that, that's fine. But I want you as a musician to play it."
Yeah,
And-
everybody puts in their own little
Yeah.
flavor, and you have a whole different product. And when you
Right.
start, it's still the same basic idea, but it always seems so beautiful when it comes together,
Yeah.
and everybody has their own
Right.
their stuff, you know, and their input. That's really cool, man. I got a great question for you. I don't ask this very often because we never get to do it, but I know you're itching for this one. What is your favorite song and why? And your least favorite song you've done and why?
All right. Well, I would say that one of the favorite song I do right now is probably "Friends Till the End," and just because of the meaning behind it, and just the musicians that I'm playing with right now really bring that song to life. There is another song
Not
that
to mention the kids rocked it.
right, and there's another song that I have not released yet that I'm working on right now called "Bluffin'," and we're going to get it out there soon. I'm trying to just get it as a live version, so we're working on that one.
But we'd love to have it on the show.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's something that I definitely want to get out there because that song is just about people. You think you know someone, you know, but maybe you don't.
And then,
Yeah. And You know, it's hard to say like a least. There's a song that I wrote, and for the life of me, every time I play it, I can't remember my own lyrics.
Oh, dude, I hate when that
And
happens.
that is probably one of the, and it's called The Gamble. I haven't released it yet, but again, it's one of those to where I have so much trouble just remembering my own lyrics. And it is about a guitar player who is playing, just saying, "Wow, you know, can I do something? Can I get out of this basement? You know, and actually do something and get out there?" And the whole premise is his conscience is saying, you know, take a shot, take a gamble. You know, don't go living day to day. Just get out there and do it. So I like the theme of the song, but for some reason I keep messing up the lyrics. And when we did it live, and so it makes me not like it, but I love the song. But it makes, you know, whenever we play it live, I have to have like a cheat sheet, or I have to, you know,
that's your kryptonite, that one.
and it
Sure.
bothers me. I mean, I wrote this song years ago, and for just that one song seems to be my Achilles heel, and I can't seem to get it down. But
So what you
I
need to
will.
do is you need to release it with the lyrics.
Yeah.
And then when you play it live, then you can let the fans go ahead and take over when you start
That'd be
forgetting
great.
things in our young age here that we have. Right.
Absolutely. I will. Yes. Good idea.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the oldest thing in the book. I forgot the lyrics. We'll just hold the mic out.
Right.
And hopefully someone out there remembers them. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Any shout outs we need to give anybody? Say hello to anyone?
Oh, there's so many. Probably don't have time. Just all of the people that have really helped through these past couple of years of trying to get this project off the ground. And I would say that, you know, the band that I'm playing with right now, my live band, you know, they really go through a lot, and they really kind of put up with everything that I throw at them. You know, and I tell them, you know, hey, we're going to learn a new song. Let's get this one down by this day, and they do it, and they do a phenomenal job. So, big shout out, you know, of course, to Rick Tovar and Greg Davis, Mike Walters, and Keenan Perry. These guys just really put the thing together, and it makes me, you know, for them to actually enjoy my music and translate it the way they do is just phenomenal. So, big shout out to those guys.
That's great, man. You see that nice little gleam in your eyes and you're saying hi
Yeah.
to them. That's I know that's real. They know that's real. That's cool, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming today. I really appreciate it, man. It
Thank
was
you.
wonderful to sit down with you. I even learned quite a bit about you today, which is cool. I already thought I did enough of my homework, but you really filled in a lot
Awesome.
of things. Would you like to take us out of here?
Absolutely. This is Anton Scholl from Anton Scholl and Friends, and you're listening to James C.Starke Radio.
Thank you guys so much for listening in. We're going to see you next time. Peace. We're out of here.